And we're live. Welcome, welcome everybody to the MumFreedomPreneurs Hangout. Sorry, we're live, a little bit of a delay, but we're here, and we're really to do some amazing things. And I actually did a little bit of something right now. I did a sentence that started saying we're a little bit late, but, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Today we're going to talk about how to turn complaints into transformation in every area of our lives, personally, with our families, with our kids. But first I want to go through everybody here and quickly say hello. For those of you that don't know, maybe it's your first time tuning into us. I am Valerie Jampolsky. I'm the Mum Freedompreneur from Abundance Now, and I am a single mom. I got twin 5-year-old boys, and I do this all the time. I have my little naked kid alert because they have a tendency to want to strip naked and come running out. It's the way they are at home. I used to be an entertainment attorney, and while I was on maternity leave with the twins, studio went bankrupt, laid everybody off, and frankly, I'd had the decision before that I knew I wanted to be home. I did not want my kids raised by nannies. Never mind daycare, it'd be nannies, because I would have been lucky if I was able to tuck them in. But I also knew that I really wanted to make a difference in the world and talk to people and be able to hang out, go to the beach, go to Disneyland, do all the stuff that I do, and speak life into people, which is what we do here. And I am so thrilled that you're here. I actually want to do a quick, see if we can see if anybody's there. Can you guys check the chat and see if anybody is on live? Those of you guys that are watching, can you see us? Can you hear us? Say something, making sure that all our tech is working. So just do a big, a Y or a yes or a Yahoo or something, anything that lets us know that you can hear us and you can see us right now. Can somebody? Oh, Michelle, there you are! Yay! Check the chat. Check our page. Check the chat, and see if folks can hear us and see us. Anybody see? I don't know, Elizabeth. Anybody? So check our page and see what's going on. If folks can hear us and see us.
I'm checking right now.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can get somebody that can just say, yes, I can hear you, I can see you, making sure that we're good.
I'm not seeing any responses yet, but we're trying.
Yeah. So those of you that are watching live, because I know that I saw that there was a whole bunch of people on.
Oh, Gabrielle said yes.
Yes, good. All right, Gabrielle says yes. Okay, we're good. All right, great. Okay, so moving on, I'm going to move down, and I'm going to go next to Elizabeth. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Valeries. I'm the mom from the Revitalized family. I live in Pennsylvania in the mountains, Poconos, 4 kids running all over the place. The main reason that I'm doing this is I'm a twice divorced mom, and I have the 4 kids who not only are running in every which direction, but they also have different medical diagnoses that we need to take care of, and we have to get them back and forth to doctors. So it's really important for me to be at home and get them to where they need to go. This allows me to turn around and do what I need to do when I need to do it. So I'm going to pass it over to Fiza.
All right, Fiza.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello, I am Fiza Kashif Khan from New South Wales, Australia, and it's nearly 1:10 a.m. No matter what, but we are here. All are connected through this hangout, and it's a great blessing for me to be the part of this hangout. And I am mother of 9-year-old daughter, and I am so blessed that I am in this network because I want to stay home with my daughter and have a healthy family environment, because I used to work in Sydney in a renowned store, but I feel very bad when I left my daughter to childcare. So no matter whether she's happy or she's crying, I must have to leave her because I don't have any choice. So I was looking for something, and I found this network, and I'm so blessed that I am working from home, having a quality time with my daughter, with my husband, and we spend a lovely weekend together. So now over to Michelle.
Oh, Michelle, I guess you're up next.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. It's really lovely to be back again. And I'm Michelle Denise, self-made mama. I have a 12-year-old son, and I'm doing this really because when I became single, I just needed to find a way to support myself and my son, and I feel like I really have a purpose in life. And you know, I was just I wasn't gonna just kind of play small in my life. I really wanted to create something for myself, and this business is really allowing me to really find myself and express myself, and also this amazing community of women is a big part of why I'm here and why I'm still here. So yeah, looking forward to the hangout and contributing today.
Yay! I love the flowers in the background too. Oh, I love little dolphin, little dolphiny guy. It's cool. It's cute. Oh, and by the way, just letting everybody folks know, Sarita is not going to be able to come on today, but she's with us in spirit. She's got family visiting and all kinds of stuff going on. Love you, Sarita. We're going to see you soon. Oh, I'm so excited. That's what we'll talk about that. We're going to be seeing you soon in Nashville. Okay, I'm going to go over now to Lucy. Welcome, Lucy.
Hello, Lucy. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Love the love in the background.
Okay. Yeah, the E fell off earlier. I'll have to put it back up. Lovely ladies, lovely to see you. Hey, Fizza. Hi, Lucy. Good to see you. Hello. Nice to meet you. All right, I'm Lucy. I'm a single mum. 3 boys, 2 grown up and gone, 1 still at home. I want to do this because I've been the sole breadwinner in my house as a single mum for so many years and wasted and lost so much time with my kids. I've now got a grandson and I don't want to waste that time with him. So I should have done it a lot sooner, a lot earlier. But I'm doing it now.
But you're doing it now, exactly. And you so don't look like you would have a grandson. Just saying.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just saying. It's like, what, really? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I do.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And what time is it for you? What time is it for where you're at?
It's now 4:25 in the afternoon.
Past 4 in the afternoon on Tuesday. That's what's so trippy. Oh, no, today, right, today. And for me, I'm here in Los Angeles, and it's, whatever, it's like a little 25 after 8. We've got people all over the world. Next, I'm going to bring up welcome, Donna, you're here.
Hi, guys. I wasn't actually expecting to be on the panel today. I would have done my hair. So I'm in Brisbane, Australia, and it is 1:25 in the morning, and I just went to bed early, so I'm really pumped to be here. So thanks for having me. Yeah, so we live in Brisbane, and I have 2 kids, 2 daughters, one 11 and one is 2, and we're ex-army. So every 2 years we feel the need to move around. So I actually joined this group because I saw Sarita and the freedom thing just really excites me, and I just want that income to be able to do that. We've travelled pretty much everywhere, and I just want to be able to do that with our kids. And yeah, that's me.
That is so cool, and I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad you are here. So I'm going to introduce our topic, and then we'll have everybody sort of comment on their experience of this in their lives. And I'm going to give a shout out. A lot of this I got from the perspective on this from Michael Bernard Beckwith. If you remember him from The Secret. And it's an interesting thing, because I don't know how many times I may have found those of you watching may have found yourselves doing this, but when you feel like that little monkey's coming your back, or there's like something's coming up in your life that you may have I'm gonna pull up my notes here, because a lot of this is just it's gonna relate, but it's the idea of when you feel that complaint possibly rising up inside, right? And and it can be a lot of areas. It could be in our business, it could be with our families, it could be in anything. And it's like, you say to yourself, you may find yourself saying to yourself, hang on one second, I'm going to pull up my notes here. I had it right in front of me, and then I scrolled right off of it. So here we go. Yeah, the whole thing of like, I'd love to be happy, but, I'd love to be prosperous, but I'd love to be at peace, but, or I am so, I'd love to be able to do this, but I am so tired, right? I'm so this, I'm so that, or this is going on, or that is going on, and we throw an excuse, right, on top of the reasons why certain things may not be the way in our circumstances that we want them in that moment in time, right? And oftentimes there's a lot of emotion tied into it. I'd love to be able to do this, but I had a really hard childhood, and I had this, that, and the other thing, and I've got this going on, and I got that going on, and I've got, I can think of, especially for Elizabeth, you've got such some really crazy things in your, with your kids and in your life, well, I'd love to, but I have this, and my kids have that, and I got this, and it'd be so easy to go into that, yeah. And especially, and for me, I think of, I'd love, this was so many times in my life in the past where I'd be like, well, I would love to be happy, but I'm so messed up inside because I've had all these horrible things happen to me in my life, right? And I'm so sad, and I'm depressed, and I'm la la la. It's been a place where in the past I had been, and I guess why this really resonated with me. And it's kind of like it's taking. It's so funny. Michael Bernard Beckley says it's like you're living from the wrong place of your anatomy, your butt. So it's about transforming and turning it around, and instead of saying it's like not denying the emotion that you're in, because and I've talked about this in the past in the sense of we're not our minds, we are not all of that, but it's so oftentimes the thoughts that come across, we buy into them. We buy into negativity. We buy into all this stuff. And especially if there's a circumstance in our environment or going on physically in the moment that can seem overwhelming. Okay? And it could be something with our kids. It could be something that happens with our business. Like even today, we're running late. And and it's like, I could get all wigged out about it. There's stuff that came up. And instead I said, you know what? And this is where you turn it around, We're running late, and I had an obstacle doing certain things and getting us ready in time, but I'm willing for this to be one of the most powerful hangouts we've ever had. I'm tired, but I'm willing to be inspired. I'm gonna pull up some of the other ones. It's like you take the but and you put what you're willing, and it opens up a space. It opens up a space, like even think, if you just feel into it emotionally, it's a completely different experience of it. Hang on one second, I'm scrolling in here. I had it already, and then I went, shoop, it all slipped away in my notes of exactly what I wanted. I got it all on my phone here. La 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 la. Here we go. And it comes from, and there's a deep part of this as well, where it comes from having an awareness of what's really really possible, of having an awareness that's really really possible. Just a second here, I'm going to find it. Exactly, I had it up, and I like with my finger I went like that, and I moved it. Just a second here. Da, 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 da. It's having the willingness to be so much more than your issues, more than what's in your current circumstance, because we have so much more to us of what is possible, or even if you're doing something, and all of a sudden your tech goes wrong. I'm willing. Whatever it is, I'm willing. I'm willing to have more. I'm willing to have this work. I'm willing to make this happen. I'm willing. It's the but, and then I'm willing. And hang on, I'd love to be happy when things are out of sorts. Just a sec, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. Okay, it's just gonna come up from out of my life. I know it had something to do with abundance, but it's like saying, my life has been my world is in a frustrating financial situation. I've had a hard life, but I am willing to have more abundance. I'm willing to accept all the abundance of the universe. I'm willing to accept all the abundance of the universe. So it's about allowing so much more, turning whatever it is, whatever your doubts, whatever your fears, whatever, because it's easy to fall into projecting negative futures if there's a current situation that comes up, right? Stuff happens, and it's what do you do in that moment instead of like falling prey to it. And I've talked about you know, being aware that we're not our thoughts, that we are something so much more powerful. We are basically the love intelligence of the universe. We have so much of who we are that is so powerful and so wonderful. And if we buy into those thoughts and what is possible for us, that we already have all our needs met, that we have the abundance, like if we sit and feel into this moment right now, if you take a deep breath, everybody just goes right now, we have in our present moment, even if we had $1 billion, let's say we were all billionaires right now, this experience of who we are right now, right in this moment, what we're living, we have everything. We're living in our space. We're here. Like, would it change how you would feel about your children? Probably. To me, it wouldn't. I mean, my child came up to me and wanted a big hug. It wouldn't matter. Everything, it's having that space and knowing that the abundance is there and opening up to taking action, but it's taking that transition of the negative. I've got this, and instead of going, I would love to be able to do that, but I have this, this, and this. Instead you say, you know, I have this and I've had this, but I'm willing to allow all this other stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense to all of you. Anybody want to pipe up of their experience of having, you know, their own experience of transitioning from, you know, where they're almost to go into a place of complaint and instead turning it around into, I heard Fizza, I know you're frozen there for a second, but I actually heard you do it. You talked about, you know, and I heard a lot of us saying this because a lot of us, we instinctively do it. We don't maybe not even realize that we consciously do this because we have been working so much on ourselves, right? And taking action and direction of our lives is what happens when you're a part of this business and this community. And you know what I'm saying? So that you know that no matter what, you can make things happen. Right, and so it's like this is happening, but I'm willing and I'm open to do this. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's in my current circumstances because I've got this and I'm willing and I'm taking action. Is that making sense to anyone? Anyone on the panel want to hop out on that?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Like, you know, whenever I talk to you, Valerie, I said, Valerie, I'm not a techno person. I'm not a techno person. I cannot do it. And you always tell me, oh, Fizza, I'm also not a techno person, but I'm trying and I do it. So if I can do it, you can do it. And I keep on thinking, if I can do it, but something happened, then there are so many stupid words that I used to use, like but, then, if, and then I decide to delete all these words from my life because these are the words which create hurdles, which create negativity within me. So I decide, okay, I have to take risk. If I will not take risk, then how I will learn? Life is continuous process of learning. And I think I read it in one book that don't take your mistake as a mistake. Take it as you are going to act in a drama where they are saying, okay, 1, 2, 3, action. And that action you will just mistake. Don't take it as M-I-S-T-A-K-E. Take it as M-I-S, pause, then T-A-K-E. Like you have another chance.
Yes.
Life is a name of continuous learning. And if we feel like we are perfect, so the day we feel like we are perfect, our downfall starts. So always find out, we have to remove if, but, what, why, all these things. These are the great hurdles. And I want to share one thing because I'm reading one book, Lucy Hay book, like You Can Heal Your Life. I am reading this book. And I was just, because whenever we got electric bill, phone bill, gas bill, my husband says, look at this. Oh, you spend this much money, this and that. It's only a waste. I said, this is not a waste. And then I read that one. It is essential that we stop worrying about money and stop worrying about our bills. Many people treat bills as a punishment. Most of the people, not many, most. I think 99.9% take bills as a punishment. Many people treat bills uh, as punishment to be avoided if possible. A bill is an acknowledgement of your ability to pay. See? Can you see the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
What a positive thought is that. A bill is an acknowledgement of your ability to pay. Like God has given you that ability. That's why you are getting the bills.
I like it.
I love
Believe me,
it. I love it.
I swear, I just changed that into that, and I read it to my husband, and I said, "Come on, man, enjoy this because God has given you this ability." And and it sounds a little bit crazy, but you know this is fact. This is fact, and it's. She said that if you pay with love and joy, you open the free-flowing channel of abundance. And treat your money as a friend, not something you weighed up and crush into your pocket. I blessed that I got my telephone bill because I love it. I love people. That's why I have telephone. I receive calls. And I bless my telephone with love each time I use it. I affirm it when it brings me only prosperity and expression of love. See, sometimes I forgot to switch off my mobile at night, and oh my God, it's terrible for me because of the time difference. My mom and my siblings are in overseas. They text me, and I feel like, what the hell is going on? They don't know it's a midnight and I'm sleeping. And after reading this, I swear I stopped saying all these stupid things. That's totally changing my life. So it's very important that the business that we are in, or not only in this business, but to have a positive lifestyle and to have positive approach towards yourself and towards other, we must have to read good books.
Yes, absolutely, and that really it really helps. It helps to stay positive. Like I got this that I'm talking about, books and audios and everything. And one thing I want to say is that's so powerful. It's like, you know what, we may not be perfect in the actions that we do, but inside of us, who we are is perfect. Who we are as human beings, all of us, we're all whole. There are no broken people. There's no mistakes. I just want to say that for anybody watching this. There are no broken people. There are no mistakes. And who we are inherently is whole. Now sometimes, and it's funny because things might seem to be a mistake, but the reality is that the universe is moving to make things happen for us. And sometimes we judge what's going on. We actually get in the way of what's actually unfolding for us in the process of the things that we are dreaming and setting our intentions for, right? And a lot of times if we're judging it, we literally block the wisdom. There's another piece I just remembered from my notes here, and it was like, it's kind of a deeper piece to this, and you guys may want to hop out on this, but it's like, it's having the awareness of that we are this wholeness, and we are connected to it. Like if you look at the trees and the grass, even the cement, we are all connected. All of us together, we are connected. That we are actually this love intelligence of the universe. It's who we are. That's who we really are. And when we are in that place and having gratitude, because for me, when I really have that awareness, there's this joy that just bubbles up from inside of me. I don't even know how to explain it. And when we can live from that space and be consciously aware of our thoughts well, not even our thoughts, the thoughts that come across, that we have the choice as to whether or not we want to say they're ours or not, right? That when a thought comes across or a feeling of a certain situation, anything, that we can stop and go, you know what? This is what's going on. I'm feeling this right now because I allowed myself to, but I am willing to feel the real reality of reality. I'm willing to have this other result. And something actually happens on a cellular level. This is what was being explained. On a cellular level, it's kind of like we have these antennae. And when we're in this, when we open up to that willing space for all of the wonder, and for willing to, like, even if we may not even understand what's currently in our environment, right? Like an ability to pay. It means that we have the ability that something, our lives we wouldn't have if we weren't able, if something wasn't happening in the process of our lives, that this is going to be something we're going to we have more than enough money to pay our bills, right? And but if we are if we allow ourselves to kind of like go down into a negative, it creates this whole other thing that happens. And it was interesting because he talked about that they've done some, some of the scientific awareness of what happens within ourselves. I'm just going to pull this up. Where is it? I'm going to find it. Yeah, okay. This is kind of like having the power decree. When something seemingly negative is in our environment, it's like, okay, this is happening or this has happened, but I am willing that this is going to be like, for me, I kept looking at the time going, we're not live yet, but this is somebody watching this. This is going to be one of the most powerful transformations that they've had. And it could be you watching this. It could be some of us on the panel. We even transform to another level. There's going to be something that's going to be heard from somebody, and this is going to be a very powerful transformation for someone. And what happens is whatever you're putting out in your life, if it's going to be the butt of the negative or if it's the butt of the positive, but this, right? It's actually picked up by like antenna on our cells, and it converts the energy into tonic chemicals that move through the body. So if it's a negative feeling, that's a negative connotation that goes in the body. But if it's positive, it actually strengthens our immune system. You can actually, it's like maybe you've been given a diagnosis. Okay, I have this diagnosis, but I'm willing to be whole. I'm willing to be whole and healthy, right? I mean, on so many levels this can happen. And it literally affects the tonic chemicals that move in our body, and it strengthens our immune systems, and it allows for the hemispheres of our brain to talk to each other. And when that happens, the frontal cortex is fired up. And this is for all of you that really understand the law of attraction, okay? The frontal cortex is fired up. And Donna, I know you're going to love this. What happens is it allows you to catch the ideas from the mind of the love essence of the universe. It allows you to catch those ideas so that when you go in and ask yourself what's next, it allows you to open up to that. Whereas if we allow the but to be the negative, the exact opposite happens. And it literally physically affects our brain chemistry, which blocks our ability. It literally blocks our ability to feel and see what actions to take next in the process of how the universe is unfolding for what we already have in our abundance. Did that make any sense? I kind of just
a lot of sense.
Did that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I know Donna, you've been working with this process. It's like she was telling me, I was like, it's so powerful, this stuff. Things come up, and it's like I say, what's next? And and then you can manifest. You can manifest. All of it's there. Everything that we have is there, and it's understanding, like you said, Lisa. It's almost like it's not a mistake. It's like I keep talking about this, but it's that rocket ship to the moon. It's moving, and it's 99% off track. Part of being off track, it's part of the process. It's being adjusted, right? A boat has to be moving forward. Then you can move the rudder. It's got to be in motion. So we're moving forward. It's like everything gets set in motion the moment that if any of us that we have a dream, whatever it is. And by the way, a lot of us, I mean, this is how a lot of us are coming to this event in Nashville. Some of us, like Elizabeth, you're coming for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything, and it's like
you would not believe the things that have happened this week. It's like since my birthday, it's like been one thing after another, and everything is just changing from negatives to positives. It's amazing.
Yeah, things just move into place if we but allow them.
Yeah.
I want to use the but. If we but allow them, and we allow ourselves to be open to what's next, where we can ask ourselves, what is the next step to take, and hear and allow and not judge what's in our current environment, because something may be coming up that's part of the process of the unfolding. It's kind of like what was I going to say? It's like, you think of that, the seed that ultimately becomes a plant, like that beautiful plant sitting behind Michelle right now. At one point was a seed, and it had to break open, and then the sprouts come up, right? I mean, there's a breaking. Sometimes there's a breaking open of things, of lessening of an older view of ourselves. Things shift.
What we end up doing here is each time we came up with a new diagnosis for one of the kids, Norris had cerebral palsy. He had water on the brain. They didn't find it until a week later, and we weren't sure if he was going to live. Well, it's not, is he going to live? It's, what if he does live? What's going to happen next? What do we do to make him have the best quality of life possible?
Yep.
So what we ended up doing was the way they treated it back then, and sometimes they still do, is they put a shunt into the back of a child's brain. And what that does is actually puncture the area of the brain and allow the liquid come out. They have it go through a tube into the bile ducts in the abdomen. And a lot of times these kids have infections and surgeries for the rest of their lives. We weren't going to let that happen. So what if we did something different? What we did was a series of spinal taps. Now, for adults, spinal taps are painful, but the child's spine is not yet attached. So he slept through it, and they actually had to pinch him to wake him up to make him scream to get the fluid out. Now, what ended up being the result of that is he did not have to have recurrent surgeries for the rest of his life. There was not going to be recurrent damage to his brain because the shunt would be jiggling back and forth. There was not going to be additional infections in his lower abdomen from the tube going into the bile ducts to excrete everything. We were worried about his cognitive abilities. He was teaching all of his classes. Not only did he teach his classes, he went to college with me, to my law classes, and my law professor would pick on him. Because children think from their head. They don't think about what's going to happen next. He just came out with the answers where the rest of us were getting it wrong because we were looking for the negatives.
Right.
He's now 23 years old. He taught his classes. If you look at him, you cannot tell he has cerebral palsy. He is a licensed massage therapist. Doing the massage actually performs physical therapy for him as well as for the person he's working on. And he's learning how to help all these other people to work around the problems with their muscles and their bodies to overcome it. And he could have been wheelchair bound for the rest of his life, not being audible or anything. And then what ended up happening was that he turned around and he's got this positive, free-flowing life that he's making a positive impact on other people. If we had just accepted what was dealt to us, we would have been in a wheelchair. We don't accept. We push for the what if. We push the envelope.
Wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Somebody on the panel, I think, might have the page open with the audio. So what you might have to do is, if you're not on, if you're not speaking, maybe, I'm not sure who it is, but as Elizabeth was speaking, I started to hear an echo. Maybe mute or close out your page, and we'll just open it up when we want to check for comments and stuff. Actually, before we do that, can somebody, I know there's something, can somebody look at the page and go see if we have any comments, if anybody's saying anything as a comment or a question for any of us on anything that we've popped up with? We're good.
There's no questions yet.
But comments, anybody saying anything, want to shout out? Any comments in there from anyone that we want to shout out to? Let's see. For me, because I'm hosting the Hangout, it's hard for me to go back and forth into it.
Elizabeth Mashal is saying, I love this, Elizabeth. What a great testimony.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, and all that.
Thank you.
Lucy, Michelle, anything you want to pop out on anything that we've said so far? Anything else you want to add to it?
Maybe me. Where's the camera? Right, I'm
Lucy, there you are. There you are.
Yeah, what you were saying about the butt thing. I've been fighting with this butt thing recently. You probably know this, Valerie. Useless with technology. Absolutely useless with technology. However, no. I heard what you said to me. You told me never to doubt my capabilities.
Yeah.
You told me, and I listened. I'm still having a few problems technically, but every time I have an issue, and I put it to one side, and I let go, and I get out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of the way. And lo and behold, you may have seen me leave a few comments lately. When I get out of the way, pop, the answer comes from somewhere completely unexpected.
Yes.
It's just ebb and flow. It's lovely.
Yes.
It's fantastic. Now that I've relaxed a bit more, it's really, really coming together. It really is.
That is so.
Get out of your own way. Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
Really.
And you were willing. You were willing to. It says, I'm willing to get out of my own way. I hear an echo. Echo. I wonder if it's me. Let's just see. Let me make sure. I'm going to close out to see if it's me. If any of my pages are open. Nope, that's not on. Hang on 1 second here. Okay. All right, cool. No more echo. Yay. That's so powerful, Lucy. And it's just like, I don't want to say when it, like, for example, for me, everybody thinks, now they think I'm the techie one because I set up the page. But honestly, I'm not. But here's the thing is what I learned was exactly that. I just, if something is kind of going wonky technology-wise, I just take a deep breath. Literally, I take a deep breath, and I ask myself, okay, I'm willing to find the answer to this. I'm willing to figure this out. I'm willing to see. So just take a look and see. And sometimes the answer is to walk away. Like I've even gone so far as to say, all right, I'm going to walk away from this, and I'm going to go to sleep and tell my life that I'm going to find the answer, and in the morning I'll wake up and I'll have the answer. Literally, I'm willing to come from wherever, and I will wake up, and all of a sudden something will have come to me that I'll realize, you know what? I think I forgot to do this.
That's the way.
I forgot. I've done it a bunch of times before. I think I forgot to do this. I'll go look. It's like I forgot to do this. Oh, I fixed it. Right? You know, or it's what I found, and it's so powerful. What I found, and this applies to all areas. What I found was when I used to tell myself things like, because it was somebody had said it to me, you know, that I'm tech challenged, or I don't know what it does, or if you say like it's hard for me to figure this out, or I'm new and I don't know, right? It literally blocks your ability to see what's right in front of your face. And what I found so powerful about what I was saying before about what happens in our brains is it's like literally it's sending, when you have a negative emotion about something, it sends, the negative thought leads to the negative emotion, right? That then sends it affects literally the tonic chemicals in our body, which affects the way the parts of our brain talk to each other, so that we're we are brilliant beings. We are these luminous spiritual beings with absolute, wisdom. We're in these bodies, right? Our bodies are wired that if we are allowing the wisdom of the essence of the universe, like all that brilliance, to operate through us, right? We allow ourselves to hear it and see it. Literally things happen when we have that positive emotional experience, that our frontal cortex of our brain actually literally allows us to have access to that. However, if we're in a negative, it does the exact opposite. The tonic chemicals shut it down. The sides of our brain are not talking to each other. I mean, what ends up happening is we literally block our ability to see solutions. We literally block our ability to see things that might be right in front of our face, opportunities, or even to see, I will see my children differently. I will literally see my children differently. I will see what's going on with them. I'll be able to feel and open up to more of what's happening to them in the moment, or even with other people, and it flows. When I make the intention, especially if I'm dealing or talking to people, if there's some sort of an obstacle dealing with things, like sometimes things may even seem to be out of our control because it's other people, and these other people have the ability to handle or do things or take, and oftentimes when I say, you know what, but I'm willing to find the solution, I'm willing to have all my needs met. I am willing to have all my needs met. I am willing to have more, to allow all the abundance in the universe. I'm willing that I'm going to if it's, you want to achieve something, that this result is happening. And even though I may not know how, I may not even know how it's going to happen, I am willing for it. It opens up. I find myself opening up to all of these options and ideas that just come and flow. And it's not just tech, it's in everything. And and it's funny because I recently there was a situation where things were going a little wonky, and I was organizing a bunch of stuff, and this was Sarita, shout out to you, reminded me of this, and she's like, take a deep breath back and focus on the result that you want. Like, allow everything. And I said, you know what, everybody's going to be happy and everything's going to work out, and it is. We're in process. It's like things are transitioning and everything is working out. And I sat down and I said, you know what, I'm just going to allow myself to go into, everything in my life is telling me I need to go into meditation right now, and I'm just going to go. And I went into meditation, and I went and I listened to a lot of things that, Michael Bernard Beckwith is one of my key sources that I go to, and I allowed myself to get into all of that, and I was focusing on abundance. You guys saw I posted all over Facebook. I had a $1,900 day. And the timing of it and everything was even in the right way, and even before that, I'd opened myself up to that, and all of those things started to happen. I did that over a sequence of times, and that's what allowed it. It allowed me to have the wisdom to know how to take the right action that was going to allow that to happen, allowing all of that into my life. And income disclaimer and all that, for those of you that might be involved or thinking, involved with us, there's a button below. I'm not typical, but who wants to be typical anyways? But it's, and that's the same thing with Sarita. Sarita's had amazing results, and so many of us here. And it's because she does this. She gets out of her own way, and she takes action on the steps that are in front of her, and she trusts her life, and she trusts, okay, I'm going to take this action and this action and this action. I just think it's such a powerful experience with all of you. Seeing what you've been doing is just absolutely amazing. Donna, do you want to pop out at all and talk about anything about your perspective on just how you approach things now? Because I know you've been applying some of this, and how you approach things in your life with just anything that goes on, and how I remember you were talking to me privately about it. I think it'd be really encouraging to people just how you approach things that come up, anything that comes up. You don't have to get into any of the details of it, but just how you approach it. Whoop! Sound?
You now.
Can you hear me? I can hear you now. There you go. Yay!
See, now I'm technically aware.
There's this little thing called a microphone button, and you click it. No one can hear you.
Can I just say, Fizza, I will never look at a bill the same again.
Thank you.
I really thought that was really cool. I was talking to Val a couple of weeks ago because I really feel like I need to be at this next event, and I was just saying, oh my gosh, I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I really just don't know. Anyway, Val gets on a call with me and just talking about the law of attraction and how to be on that high frequency. And she was, if you notice, Val talks with her hands a lot. So every time I would get stuck and not know where I was going to pull this money from, she always said, what's next? What's next? And so that's what every time I think, what's next? How am I going to pull the rest of this money together to do everything I need to do? I would do that, and everything is working really well. Excuse me. So then last week I had the money to go. I had the money for the hotel. I bought the ticket for the event before I'd even knew how I was going to get the money to get myself on a plane over to the States. And I just wanted to believe, and I just wanted to jump in and really believe in myself. But last week there was a visa issue. I had to apply for a new visa. I'm not able to get the visa waiver just because some of our travelling that we've done before and everything. Anyway, I came across this, I wasn't able to get an appointment till Wednesday this week. We fly out on Sunday, and then I found out that I have to actually get to Sydney to get this visa. And I had a meltdown for about 5 minutes. And my 11-year-old said, "Mum, it's just practice for Nashville." So these 11-year-olds or these kids really do teach us stuff. And I thought, you know what, Donna? It is $150 to get down there and back, move on, and because if I don't do that, I'm not allowing myself to be open and put in that position for where I need to be to have this amazing experience next week. So it is, and then I was speaking to Val, and she's saying to me, "Donna, the visa's going to work out, but you need to have it in your head of, that we're all one with the universe and all of that," and it gives me chills thinking about that. So I feel really great. And Fizzer, if you want to do a cuppa when I'm down there on Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I love it.
That's been a really, really massive part. But also, it hasn't just been me. My whole family, my husband and my daughter, have been right there with me. We've all been going, what's next? Because it needs to be a family affair, not just one person. That's how I feel, and we've been operating on that high level now.
That's great. That's so powerful. So yeah, pictures together. You guys got to take pictures together when you go visit. So
Donna, are you ready to welcome your credit card bill?
Oh, yeah. I don't have credit cards though, but that damn phone bill. And you know what? I love talking too.
I love it. So, and any let's see, Michelle, anybody, any other stuff that you want to hop out? Because I want to throw out. I have an exercise, just something we can do to like take us out on an exercise at the end. If I can find it in my notes, guys. Hang on. Anybody else have any comments that they want to throw out? Anything? Michelle?
Yeah, I'll pop out.
That's inspiring you? Yes, no?
No, pop out?
Yeah, I've got you popped out.
Yeah. I just wanted to say the whole bill thing. I can hear an echo. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I hear an echo too. Maybe somebody else read out. Everybody else read out.
It's still echoing.
Do you have more than one page open right now? Like maybe do you have our actual page, like our actual, yeah, if you close that maybe?
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Is that what it was? Okay, cool. That's, yeah, because if you do that and you're talking, it kind of goes, creates a feedback loop. Figure that one out.
Yeah, no, I really love this whole conversation. It's really powerful. I was just thinking, I had this this parking fine which had just grown out of all proportion when I was away for a few months last year, and and it kept coming through the door. And eventually I just looked at it, and I wrote in big letters, I just wrote, like, thank you for the money, and I stuck it up on my desk, thank you for the money. And every time I saw it, it was like, thank you for the money. And something in me really shifted, and like, all the money that I needed just kind of manifested. It was amazing, just that shift from like, oh no, I don't want to see this bill again, you know. You know, just like every time I looked at it, instead of thinking, oh no, I don't have the money, just thinking, oh, thank you for the money, you know. So
that's so cool. Yeah,
it really worked.
Yeah, well, that place of gratitude and acknowledging that you already have it, and then you just that gratitude, you already have it, and then it comes up, and you probably put yourself and took actions and things, and because it's a combination of it coming from the outside, moving, and you instinctively taking actions that allowed that to happen, right? It's sort of a combination in both directions. One of it is being, because a lot of people I know that they, you know, they've done the visualization and all that stuff, and they don't, you know, when it comes to the law of attraction, all that, and they're not seeing the result. And it's that missing piece of the action, and allowing yourself, you know, opening up constantly over and over, acknowledging that you already have it, and that gratitude is so huge, and opening up to the action of what you take next, right? Because we need to be moving, we need to be in motion. Just sitting still isn't necessarily going to do it. Even like physical things, because I've known people that have overcome a lot of physical situations, quote unquote diagnosis or whatever, and I mean, you know, powerful listening to Elizabeth, and it's like really allowing yourself to know what actions to take, and some of that when you're in that positive space, your body also heals in a faster way as well. But it's also, you know, knowing the different things to do, and it'll come to you from different places in the environment. I had a broken shoulder, and I kept telling myself this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. Seems odd, and several things happened. Like, for example, someone came up out of the blue and said, you know what, contact this homeopathic pharmacy, and they're going to give you ideas of what to take and what to do, because the doctor said I was basically screwed. They said, you know what, you're going to be disfigured, you're always going to have this big lump on your shoulder, which I don't have. I was going to have this big lump on my shoulder, I was always going to be in pain, it was always going to be kind of, because they couldn't do surgery and all this stuff, and I was just basically screwed, really. And I refused to allow that. I just sort of went somehow, and things just, you know, I kept opening myself up to it, and I kept telling people this as things came to me. I was sitting there late one night watching an infomercial of all things, and it was an exercise routine thing that I got that I eventually was able to work with, and I became stronger than I'd ever been before in my life. I mean, just amazing stuff that ever happened, to the point where I actually went to the doctor a few years later, and they did an x-ray, and they couldn't tell that it was ever broken. It's like it never happened. I mean, and I have the x-rays to prove and the pictures to prove how, I mean, my shoulder was completely disjointed. Like, it was like a big bone jumping out of my shoulder. And I was physically stronger, doing more things than I could ever possibly imagine. And, you know, I mean, just all I can say is that I worked with this process and listened and took action in the direction. Despite what the doctor said, despite what anybody said, I just kept doing that. And the same thing in our businesses, it's the same thing, to not listen to any of the thoughts that are out there of folks that say, you know, this is impossible or whatever, right? And I really want to pull up quickly, because we're getting close to the end for an hour for us, and I want to just pull up this exercise. Unless anybody else will hop out, yell, holler, and we'll bring you up. I'm just going to see what this, because I had it in front of me.
I just wanted to say something, actually.
Yes.
Just keeps coming to me while we're having this conversation. And, you know, we're all mums, we've all given birth. And I was just thinking about that whole process of giving birth, you know, and the contraction and the pain. And I remember when I was in the most intense part of my labour, and I just, instead of contracting and kind of going against the pain, I started to say yes, 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 and it just like it opens the face and it just opens everything. And it's like what we've been talking about, instead of being in the no and the why me and the complaint, to open to the yes, just say yes, just ask something empowering, how can it move forward? And yeah, that just kept coming to me as we were having conversations, so I thought I'd share that.
Well, you know what's interesting is, and this is something, I don't know if anybody ever heard of hypnobirthing, okay? But I'm going to throw this out there for any of the moms or potential mamas out there, and I know a lot of you may have had the experience of having like really painful birth. But there's this thing called hypnobirthing, and the reality is that the reason why everything clinches up, the reason why there's pain, is because the muscles that are involved in the birthing process for everything to open up, right? There's two sets of muscles that are down they're down there, and one is the ones involved in birthing. They just relax and open. But there's another set of muscles that if there's any kind of fear, they clinch. So on the one hand, you've got muscles going like this, and the fear causes the other ones to clinch. So imagine if you've got this going on, where everything is wanting to open. That's where the pain comes from. And unfortunately, people have been told it's painful. They're told over and over. But if you go into places in the communities, like in that are like small villages where they haven't seen people on TV screaming and crying or heard other people say that it's painful, they don't have any concept that birth is painful. It's never been a part of them. It's not a part of the culture. They just squat down and they breathe, and out the baby comes. And it was also part of this weird thing in Europe. There was a thing with royalty where you end up doing this thing where you're giving birth to babies on your back, which is not necessarily the easiest way to do it. But the thing that what's interesting is that folks have gone through the hypnobirthing where you literally reframe your mind to understanding this whole thing, and staying relaxed and calm, and understanding that it's, and I know this is going to sound crazy, that it's not painful. I mean, they actually have videos of women that are laughing during birth. There's no pain. It's like it's just pressure because they allowed. So what you did, Michelle, was when you went yes, you relaxed and you allowed it to open. Instead of having the negative of the fear, this is painful, which of course creates more pain, which creates more fear. It's like, the Braxton Hicks, they call it the Braxton Hicks, where it feels like pressure and it's starting to move, right? Well, most people go, oh, well, the Braxton Hicks isn't painful. It's just, it's process. But as it gets closer together, people think, oh, I'm getting into labor, and now it's going to be painful. It is painful. The moment you're afraid that it's going to be painful, and we have this whole culture that it's going to be painful, and because we've seen it painful, and maybe we even experienced it painful, it's painful. But the reality is it's painful because we bought into it and our bodies clinched. That's what causes it. I know that sounds nuts, but I've seen the videos, and I actually did the hypnobirthing. I was going to go through it. I wasn't able to. We got an echo going on. I wasn't able to experience it. Because I did this, I had my kids when I'm 46, 47 years old, and I had preeclampsia, and my numbers went crazy, and my boys had to be born 5 weeks early. I had to have emergency C-section. So I wasn't able to go through it. I wasn't able to go through it. So, but I was in a class with all the other women that did do it and did experience it. And I've seen the video, so this is actually very, very, very real. and even I've seen women doing it with twins, which is even amazing. That's why I was willing to do it and open to the experience. I had a different challenge for me because I'm terrified of needles. I'd been terrified of needles because of stuff that happened to me as a childhood, and I said, I'm going to be able to do this. I see a second of all thing, which was frankly more for me than giving birth, because hypnobirthing, I had my doula with me, my hypnobirthing doula with me there. I had someone else to be with me to watch the kids, so I'd have extra bodies because I had twins and I wanted all the energy on them. And so I had that all sorted out. And then here I had to do something which was even more challenging for me, which was having 5 weeks early, and I knew it because my OBG, I mean, she hypnobirthed her own babies. So she was 100% for me. And when she said to me I had to have a C-section, and it was 5 weeks early, it was like, okay, all right, we got to do it. There's just no way around it. And I was able to go through having a needle in my back for the epidural, which for me was more traumatizing, and to stay calm while knowing they were cutting me open, right? I mean, for me, that was challenging. And I was able to open up and allow, and they had the music and they had the lights, because the way they did it with me, they still did it in a way that was like, you know, very calm and gentle, the most you could possibly have with a C-section in terms of the way that they handled it. And again, saying, you know, I can do this. Because that, I know that may seem nuts, but I was more afraid of that than I was of the birthing process, because I knew I was all prepared for all of that and able to relax through that. So anyways, on that cookie note, for any of you guys who are watching out there, go check out hypnobirthing. It's powerful stuff. But it was like you actually put in there to allow it to finally release out. So, okay.
Valerie, the experience that you share, I got a goosebumps. Oh my goodness.
I've never shared that on camera. I've never talked about it. It's like a first for me. I don't know. It came out. Someone needed to hear it. Someone needed to hear it. I don't know who, but I'm telling this crazy story. We came onto this, and here I'm talking about my experience with my C-section and birthing.
And I think being a mom, we can feel your pain, right? Because we had all gone through the same phase.
Yeah.
More or less the same phase.
And I'm going to say, okay, all right, I'm just going to do it with one sentence. I can't do the rest of this, but it for all of us and for any of you watching, because I know a lot of us a lot of us, we do this for our businesses. We're here to be involved, to really be mumpreneurs. This is the mumpreneur hangout. So we all have businesses, or we want to have businesses. Click the link below if you haven't already joined us, and get in on the inside of all of this amazing in this community. And I'm so excited that we're all. Oh yes, and we quickly talk about, before we go to the exercise, we're going to be in Nashville next week. Okay, next Monday we're in Nashville. We're at the Mastermind. We are not having this hangout on Monday next week. Now, one of two things is going to happen. There will either be something on the page that says, you know, so stay tuned. There'll either be something on the page saying, watch the replay, and we'll be live the following Monday. I'll be actually live in Nashville from the hotel room. I'm going to be I'll be hosting it there. You know, so for those of us that can get on, I'll be able to do it, because my flight isn't till later in the day. But Elizabeth came up with an idea. Possibly we might do this at a different time on Sunday. So stay tuned. I will post on the page as soon as we know what that is, and we'll set it up, and it'll say when our next time will be. So it'll either say replay, or eventually it'll come up, and we'll know, and we'll be able to say around this time on Sunday we will do this. So a very special time. We'll be doing it live from Nashville. If nothing, it'll be me and Elizabeth. We might have everybody else, possibly. Hopefully some of the other folks, depending on when their flights arrive and who's there and schedules. And I know Sarita's might be in leadership meetings, etc., etc. But it'll be, and if nothing else, it'll be me and Elizabeth. We'll figure out what time, and we'll start the hosting of it. And everybody else that's around the world, if we're not with us in Nashville. So I want to close out with just this one thing for all of us to say. I'll say it first, and then everybody else will all say it out loud together. And those of you at home, I don't care, people watching around you, allow the vibration of this. Allow the vibration of this and say this, okay? And we'll close out with this, and maybe even write it out. I mean, this is one of the things I have around me all the time. And it could be, I've had a challenging past. I'm going to say it first, and we'll say it together. I've had a challenging past, but I'm willing to allow all the abundance of the universe, more than I can possibly imagine. So we'll say the first part together. I've had a challenging past.
I've had a challenging past,
but I'm willing to allow all the abundance of the universe.
But I'm willing to allow all the abundance of the universe,
more than I can possibly imagine.
More than I can possibly imagine.
What do I do next?
What do I do next?
Yes.
Love you all. Signing out. See you either Sunday or following Monday. Stay tuned. Mwah.